Hey everyone, I'm Ana Luisa Daño. I'm the Program Director for Living Tongues Institute for Endangered Languages. Thank you so much for coming today. These monthly webinars are really a highlight for our team because we get to meet new people. And with COVID, we don't get to travel very much right now, but meeting people is like at the core of the work that we do because we're really coming from the grassroots to create digital resources. So I want to introduce you all to our wonderful new web developer who just joined our team. Diego, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, hi, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit and talk to the group for a minute?
Oh, yes, thank you. Well, I am Diego. I live here in Mexico. It's nice to meet all of you. I have a bachelor's degree in linguistics, and I also I have been working as a web developer for 3 years. And I really like to be here, and the application that they have created is amazing, and I want to keep doing things that well. And it's a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Diego. We're really happy to have you on the team. So he's joining Jacob Wodoin, who's been programming the Living Dictionaries platform for the last several years. So we're really glad to have you working with us. Also, we have Greg Anderson on the call, who's the director of Living Tongues. Greg, do you want to say hi to the group for a second?
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming, and looking forward to exploring this app with you guys. So, I'll step back and let Anna do her thing.
Great. Okay, awesome. So the first thing I'm going to do is give you a general overview of the platform, and then I'll dive into a few examples. And then I'll talk about a batch import that we just finished in the last few days. And then I'll open it up to community conversation. And I'll stop for questions a couple of times as I go along. Okay, so I will go ahead and share my screen and start the presentation. So today we're talking about living dictionaries. So the website is livingdictionaries.app. And it works within any browser on any device. You don't have to download anything. It's a web-based tool, so it's all online. We are working on the offline mode. That is the #1 question we get really often. A lot of the communities that we work with have limited access to internet connectivity and other things. So we are developing the offline mode for this. How that works, we'll be adding more details to our site by the end of the year to help improve people's understanding of the offline mode. So for now, the way it works is you still have to get online to start your dictionary. And then you can access it. If you're offline later, you can access it, just the text portion of it offline, and browse on it on your phone and your desktop. So it should stay cached in your browser. You can also modify the text offline, and then it automatically uploads to the cloud when you are back online. We don't have the capability to change multimedia offline yet, so we are working on that, and that will take us probably early in 2022 when we do a lot of testing. But it is top on our minds because we want this to be as accessible as possible. That being said, having it available online has really increased the visibility for endangered and threatened languages. It has really increased the potential impact of having language materials accessible online. And so that's the reason why we've started it as a web platform. So I'm going to share again. I was just letting someone back into the room. So here we have all the dictionaries you can see that people are working on. So a lot of these are They're in private mode, some of them, and some of them are in public mode. And private mode allows people to work at their own pace over the course of years and years to build a dictionary. So I will show you one that our team has done over the course of several years. So this is the living dictionary for a language called Gata, which is spoken in India by the Gata community. And as you can see, we have 6,378 entries in this dictionary. This was done by our team at Living Tongues over the course of many years. So I'll go ahead and open this. So this is what the dictionary looks like from list view mode. You can also see it from table view, which allows you to see the data in a spreadsheet. And you can also see it in gallery mode, which we are still working on. As you can see, it says loading more images here. And this allows you to see the images that are in the dictionary. So this is a really great resource for the classroom and for sharing online in an engaging way, because we want people to access and to be able to share in the most vivid way possible. So some good news that we have. We'll be adding video soon. So we're working on that. We've got a really amazing intern named Peng, who's working on the video capabilities. We've partnered with WikiTongues. So to do this, since they have more experience working with YouTube than us. So soon in entries in the next few months, you'll be able to record a video of yourself right here inside an entry. So we're all very excited about that. We've been working on the backend capabilities for a while. It's pretty complex, but we've got a lot of the pieces in place. So right now we have audio. This is what the audio waveform looks like for this entry. And we have the capability to upload a photo, and soon we'll have video as well, where the person can record themselves pronouncing the word or phrase, or they could record someone else straight in the app. So you won't have to leave the app. You could do all that in the app, and it will use YouTube's API to store the videos for free for us. So we're working on that. So here in this, this is a very large living dictionary. So this is kind of just to show you the capabilities of what could be done over the course of several years. You'll notice that a lot of the entries here are tagged with what we call semantic domains. So some of the examples you see here, quantities and quantifiers, universe and the natural world, plants, trees, and other vegetation, food and cooking and foodways. So this is a list, this comes from a list of semantic domains that we are developing and improving, and we also want people to be able to add their own tags and their own semantic domains, since we get that question really often. The benefit of having these semantic domain tags is that it allows us to filter the content effectively. So for example, if I just want a list of all the plants, trees, and vegetations in this language, then I would click on the filter here, and it's going to filter automatically and show you everything that's been tagged with that semantic domain. And then a lot of these in this dictionary have accompanying images. So you can then go to gallery view and get a nice overview of the plants. And then you could then share that as a URL. You could also share the list view URL as well. Any search result or any entry has its own unique URL that you can then share on social media or link to in a paper or a blog post or anything. Yes. So for example, here, I'll go back to my list of filters here. So if I want to filter by birds, all of a sudden I've got a list of birds in Gata, and then I could share that link with somebody, someone specializing in birds. I could do, let's see some more. If I just want to do like a lesson plan for Gata about food, I could filter by food, and everything that's tagged with food would come up, and I can share this link with anybody on any device. Now, the most important next thing that we want to do with this capability is that have the ability to export that content in case for dictionary managers, so that they can then extract their information from the site. So we will have a button coming up here at some point by the end of this year. We'll have a export feature. So you'll be able to filter and, with us, see you want to do food and plants. So that would yield a certain list result. And then you could then export the text and the multimedia and all the information that goes along with this. So that's some good examples of how you can filter. We're also going to have a dialect filter here, so that if the language has numerous dialects that are tagged in it, you would be able to search by dialect. So we are working on that. You could also filter by the different speakers who are inside the dictionary. So we still have a little work to do on this dictionary. We have the same speaker with 2 different names. So that's an example of cleanup that we have to do with our interns in our next cohort. So this should all be one person, Budra and Budura. So that's the typos that creep into the data sometimes. So we're constantly refining and improving. You could also filter by parts of speech. So this is really interesting for analysis as well. For example, if I want to see all the numbers in this language, I could then, I think I have multiple things tagged. Let's go for nouns. Yes. If I wanted to yield a list of nouns, I could do that. Or for example, adjectives, etc. So that gives you, providing the parts of speech and the semantic domains really gives you a powerful way to filter your data. It's important to remember these are search-driven dictionaries. So there's no limit to the amount of entries that you could have. There's also no character limit on any of these entries. So let's go back to Mango. You could have as many characters as you want in any of these fields. You could also have multilingual translation. So that's known as a gloss in the linguistic discourse. So you could have this word here in various other languages. So we've programmed it in that way from the beginning. Also, importantly, so right now we're looking at this in English with the English interface. That might not be very accessible for people coming from other regions of the world who want to see this. So we have interface languages. So right now I just clicked on the top right. So these are some of the languages that we have available to use the interface in. So for example, Spanish. So if I click on Spanish, it automatically translates the whole interface into Spanish. You don't have to navigate to another tab or browser or anything like that. We also have it available in French. So it translates everything, all the functionality into French. It also translates, whenever I switch languages, it translates the parts of speech, the semantic domains, and other parts of the site as well. We have Kiswahili, which is very important for Africa. So this was a really great project to translate all of this with our Kiswahili collaborators. We also have Russian, since we cover a lot of languages from Siberia, a lot of endangered languages there. And I'll show you Hebrew, which is fascinating because it changes the orientation of the site. It's not 100% perfect yet. We still have a few things to refine, but we're working on a project now in collaboration with Wikitongues to document endangered Jewish languages. So we wanted to have this site available in Hebrew. We have a team working on Arabic as well, which is almost finished. We have Portuguese, which is great for several different parts of the world, including Brazil, Bahasa Indonesia, and Malay. And these other ones that you see locked with the keys, these are the ones that we're getting ready to roll out. Most importantly for us, because we work a lot in India, we will be rolling out the Hindi version of the site very soon, and several other languages for India too, since it's such a multilingual place. So having this site in Hindi will benefit, and Oriya and Assamese will benefit a lot of our collaborators and communities in India. So I will stop briefly here. I want to say hi to everybody. And I'm going to go more in depth soon in this presentation of how to start a dictionary and how to add an entry. So that'll be the next phase. But I want to take a moment here to stop, acknowledge everyone here. Thank you so much for coming. And do you have any questions right now? I'll jot them down and I can respond to them as I go along. Let's see. Okay, we have Wale from Nigeria. Hi, thank you for coming. That's great. I see you here. I see Madeline Bossy also. Thank you for coming, Madeline. I know that you've created a living dictionary. I've seen your name on the platform. So if you have any questions, that I'll be happy to hear from you. Also, I'll talk about batch imports in a few minutes. we're doing a lot of batch imports right now for different linguists and activists who ask for that. And Yvonne has questions about accessibility. Yes, accessible to screen readers. Yes, I think we have built in that capability. We still need to do some more testing for the accessibility. And now that we have Diego working with us along with Jacob, that's on our long list of things to improve the accessibility. So our front end integration is done with Svelte, and Svelte really prioritizes accessibility. But I think there's more work to be done to improve it. So yeah, Diego, put that on your list for later on. In the next few months, we're gonna definitely come back to some accessibility. And also we also programmed the site so that it would be good for sign languages around the world, since many of those are underdocumented, endangered, or low resource in some way. So we have some plans to work with different communities to have sign languages on the website. Since we're going to have video soon, and we could upload GIFs for showing the signs. Does anyone else have any questions right now before I move on? Okay, I will continue. So back to Gata. I'll just share a last couple things about Gata that I love about this dictionary. So a lot of the languages that we work with are polysynthetic or agglutinative languages. So it's important for us that we are accommodating those languages too. We want to accommodate as many forms of communication as possible, and not just focus on European languages, for example. So we want to be able to search within entries and also yield those results. So right now what you're seeing is it's displayed alphabetically, and that's just for convenience, but you can really search for anything. So for example, the morpheme pog, which means bug in this language, it appears as the suffix on the ends of words. So as you can see, if I search for pog, it comes up and it's at the end of all these words. So this is very important for us when we're searching in a dictionary. It's searching in the whole string. It's not just searching for what appears at the beginning of the word. So as you can see, there's a lot of butterflies in Gata that have the suffix pog on them. So we're looking at all of those right now. And you can see a photo of them. You can see the dialect here, this is from the Hill Gata dialect. These other fields are empty for now, but there's room for more information to come in. We also are going to have very soon in source, we're changing this to be an array of links so that you could add links to other ecological databases, other websites, blogs, Facebook groups, whatever. And so, for example, if you wanted to link to Wikipedia or something else where it's a website devoted to butterflies, for example, you could then put a link in source. Right now, you can already put a link, but it doesn't lead you anywhere. So right now, we are changing that so that people could have links within any entry. So that's very exciting. We're about to roll that out in the next couple of weeks. So that's a little bit finishing up on Gata. Now I'm going to go back to our homepage, which is livingdictionaries.app. And I will show you a new project that we just finished doing. Let me see if I can get rid of this thing. Okay, so we have a new language that we just imported in the last few days. So there's a language named Kalinago. It was spoken traditionally in actually several different Caribbean islands, but it's mostly known for being on the island of St. Vincent. So I was contacted by Kalinago descendants who are working on revitalizing this language and bringing it back. There are still a few semi-speakers left on Dominica and some of the other islands around here, but a lot of the descendants who are Kalinago descendants are now located around the world, in Canada, the US, and the UK, and a lot of those people have a strong need for resources in their language, since they're doing online work just like this, meeting up and trying to learn about the language. So this is the newest addition to the Living Dictionaries family. This is the Kalinago import. So how we did this was I had some meetings on WhatsApp with the two sisters who put together this content. So they sent me their content in a Word document, and then I put it into this batch import spreadsheet that we have. So we can tailor this batch import to anyone who needs it, based on the glosses that you might need, based on local orthographies that you might need to portray. So this is what the batch import looks like. So they sent me their Word document, and then we went through, made some corrections. And this content that they found was, sorry, my dog is making so much noise, I'm sorry. They used several different websites, and they did archival research to compile all these words. So one of the websites they used was the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica. So there are some words on this website that they were able to use. And so this was, they knew that this was based on good scholarship of the region. They also looked at another website, grassroots site called Kalinago Archive. And so these were some of the words that they looked up to. So we had some back and forth discussions, and then I made the spreadsheet for them, and then we were able to import it. So the next step that they'll be looking for is how to pronounce these words, and how to, so they can add audio to their dictionary. So that will be something that they will have to do. We'll try to assist them to meet linguists who specialize on the phonetics and the phonology and the morphosyntax of that region, especially Arawakan languages, since it's an Arawakan language that borrows from several other languages as well as colonial languages. So that will be, reconstructing the actual pronunciation of these words will be a little bit beyond what we can do at this stage, but pairing the community with a linguist who can help is usually what we do in that case. Yes, so we're very proud of this process so far. So now, for example, the community can now take this and share this link with their collaborators in their Zoom calls and their online meetings and in their chat rooms or Facebook forums. And so they can have conversations about these things. We've also tagged them with, we started tagging them with semantic domains. So now you can get a list of the body parts in Kalinago. And very importantly, one of my favorite parts of this dictionary is the place names. So the two sisters who built this did a lot of background research into the original names of the islands, and making sure they could find the Kalinago original names. And since all those islands have been renamed by settlers, we included the more commonly used name, and then the Kalinago name. And then in the English gloss, we put in the explanation of what that what that word is in English. So in this case, this word means in Kalinago, land of the herons or land of the large birds. And this is one of the Leeward Islands in the region. So you can see the capacity to kind of move towards a more encyclopedic understanding of this language and culture. We're also looking at integrating maps into the platform. So that will probably be sometime in 2022. It would be great to have, all of these place names indicated and then being able to see their original names on a map somehow. So we are looking at the best ways to do that. Because as you know, a lot of linguistic knowledge is tied to the land, the landscape, and the human interactions with the landscape and the ecosystem. So we're taking those considerations very closely, and we want to make sure that we're representing those that type of knowledge faithfully. This is another name that I thought was very interesting. So Dominica itself, so the island we often refer to as Dominica, in the literature, they found two different ways of writing this word. Waitubuli probably, or Waitukubuli, not sure exactly how it's pronounced yet. And the translation in Kalinago is tail is her body, and it's one of the Windward Islands. So you can see this is just kind of an introduction into the larger understanding of the place and of the language itself. So here, I've been showing you all of the different tags, the filters. I've shown you interface language. I can show you, so if we have any mistakes in here, it's very easy for a person, the dictionary manager who has control over this, to log in and change the gloss at any time or add to it or add something else. So these dictionaries are works in progress. You're not tied to what is being put into print. It's digital. So if there are any errors, we can quickly correct them, no problem. And that the editing capability is just for dictionary managers themselves, and not for people from the public. The public can just browse it and see it, but the public can't edit it themselves. But if someone from the public wants to join this project, they can contact us, or likewise, if we're working on it and other people want to join and contact us, we can then send them an invitation directly from the site, so we can have more people working on the site. So we can have managers and we can have contributors, and those are people who can add to the site but can't delete. So for example, right now I'm going to add Denise DeFreitas. So I'm just going to write in her name right here. And I'm going to add in other members of her family who worked on this too. And she will also have access to logging in and changing and adding images and doing whatever. So here I put, this is kind of a preliminary about section for this living dictionary. This will probably get developed a lot further with like a list of reading materials and links to the other sites that I showed you before for where some of this content came from, and as well as like a long bibliography that they drew from. So that's the about section that can be edited by a dictionary manager at any time. It can be as long as you want to. You can include like a book here if you want, links, whatever you want. You saw contributors already. Grammar, we have nothing in here yet, but likewise, you can copy paste as much grammatical information about this language as you want. And in settings, right now, we can have it set as visible to the public or not visible to the public. So if I unclick this, it will be removed from our public map and no one will be able to search for it online and find it. But it's the link is still open, so you can it's not password protected or completely hidden from the public, because someone could get the link, find the link somehow through a friend and still access it. So the visible to the public thing is not a completely private mode, but it is, we treat it as a private mode because it's not out there on the web for people to find unless they have the link. We're adding more features here for the settings because we want people to be able to edit other components of their dictionary too. and explain more background about the functionality. So we're consistently working on that. We also have a contact us button here, which is the same as this one, which allows you to send us a message. We also have an FAQ page that answers a lot of the technical questions about how to record, how to upload, and that kind of thing. And then we have a general about page, which has the background of who we are and why we were doing this, and the names of the translators who worked with us to do the different interfaces. And all of this works in the various languages that you saw. For example, all of this is translated as well. And we want it to be as multilingual as possible so that it's not just for an English audience, but for a global audience. So those are some of the components that we have. So now I'd like to open it up for more community discussion. I'm going to check the chat here to see. Yes. Okay. So I think the best thing to do is if we go around, since we're a small enough group, I think we're 12 people. That's great. So we can do a go around, and for anyone who feels comfortable talking, just introduce yourself and the languages that you're working on would be great, and any questions, and I will take note and respond as we go along. Yvonne, would you like to start, since we know you a little bit already, and I know you're doing some great work. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Yvonne Treis. I work on the documentation of an Ethiopian language, okay, called Kambata. And yeah, I'm here because I'm planning to start a kind of community-driven online dictionary for the Kambata language. And one of the members of the community is also here, Abel.
Oh,
and
hi,
that's
Abel.
why. Yeah, so that's why we attend, just to get some ideas about the functionalities. Yeah, so that's it.
Hi, Abel, would you like to introduce yourself to the group?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it is great to be here. I got this link from Yvonne, because we have been working together on certain issues on the Kambata language. In fact, I'm not a linguist, but I'm here to learn how these things work. So because I'm also interested in preserving the language which Yvonne is working. That language is my mother tongue, so I'm interested in to help her just to conserve this language.
That's fantastic. That's wonderful. I'm just so excited to see you both here, because some of the best projects on the platform are really that collaboration between linguists and community members who are passionate about documenting their language and making it accessible. So I think that you seem like a really good dynamic duo. Yeah.
I should add, there's a third person who unfortunately couldn't log in. So I asked about the screen readers, because he's blind, so he would be our he would be the third member. I mean, at least for a start. And so it's good that in case of any difficulty, I now know that he could get in contact with Diego. That would be really helpful. Yes.
Oh, perfect. Yes. I'll make sure that you get this recording right after the meeting is over, so that you can then send it to your colleague. And, yeah, I think that now that we know you and we know that you're planning to work on the platform, once we make improvements for accessibility, we would love feedback from your colleague as well, to see if it's working for them. Because we have no one in our immediate network who is blind, but we would love to know if it's actually like functioning properly. And we really try to have community feedback as part of our design process. So we're trying to kind of, because we believe in decolonizing science and decolonizing linguistics, we want to see movement from the grassroots up that really influences this platform that can benefit everybody. So we don't really see ourselves as working very much within a very complex hierarchy. We see ourselves as like working in these small teams and having everyone's voice make an impact on the platform. So we're able to do that because we don't work for a particular university or large institution. So we're able to stay like small and scrappy with how we're doing it. So we would really, really value feedback from your colleague when the time comes.
Yeah, a lot of the improvements are driven by exactly that kind of feedback from people. So we value it.
And is your colleague in Ethiopia as well? Oh, I think you're on mute now.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, I mean, he is from Ethiopia. He's also a native speaker, and he's not a linguist, but we have been working together for a while, and he is at the moment he's a PhD student in Germany.
In Germany, okay, cool, yeah.
Yes.
Great. Yes, and you can let your Ethiopian colleagues know as well. We're also working on, we're almost finished with, there's 2 more languages for Africa. So I believe Amharic would be useful for you. Yes?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's always useful for
Yeah, we're almost done. We have a team working on the Amharic and also another team on Hausa as well. So separately. So yeah, we will be rolling out those languages for the interface as well. So yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm so glad to meet you both. I would love to hear from, well, I'm going to, at the end of the introductions here, I'll turn to you, Alex Manuel Martinez Aguileras. I know you sent me a question about semantic domains for Pesh. So hi, Alex, how are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Well, I sent you my dictionary.
Yeah.
I am currently working right now is in the Pesh Living Dictionaries. It's a language from Honduras, have 200 speakers right now. Well, my question in this part is, I am working with a community with this dictionary that is common dictionary, Spanish, English, and I am working with this dictionary, and in some parts appears the part of speech, no? And in the part of speech, sometimes appearing like that feminine noun or masculine noun. And I want to know if the interface in Spanish that appears in living dictionaries don't have the option for feminine and masculine nouns, only nouns. I add that how nouns, but I don't know if you can add this in these platforms.
Okay, that's a great question. I'm going to come back to that question. Feminine nouns in Pesh. At the end of this round of introductions, I have you sent me your link, so I'll put that on the screen in a few minutes. Okay. Thank you, Alex. Thanks. That's great question. Okay, do we have anyone else? Madeline, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Madeline Bosi. I'm a grad student at Berkeley working on a language called Kipsigis, which is spoken in Western Kenya. So yeah, I started making a dictionary once I heard about the site because it seemed pretty user-friendly. So I just started poking around and now I have a teeny tiny dictionary with 10 entries. But I wanted to come today just to kind of hear more about like the different functionality that I might have missed while poking around. But yeah, don't really have any questions so far. I'm just really excited to kind of get this project rolling because it's something I've wanted to do for a while, but didn't really know how to get started on. And also the Kipsigis people who I work with, we're also really excited about doing something a little less esoteric than some of my syntactic and semantic elicitation work. So yes. Excitement all around.
Oh, perfect. I can sense your enthusiasm. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're working on the platform. And we can assist you and the community with like a batch import. That might be easier if you have a large quantity. So we can put you on the list for September for a batch import. If you want to do a small import of just a few hundred words and phrases, or if you want to wait to do a larger import later on, that's fine. We have we try to do the batch imports within, a month or so when people send it to us. So we're a small team, as you can see, but we kind of make this list and, we'd be happy to work with you at that point. And also Yvonne and anyone else who has a larger batch already.
I'll have to think about that too, just because one of the challenges I've been up against is that the language has no writing system. So figuring out how to write these things is a challenge. And I only work with obviously a very small fraction of the community. So I have entries written in IPA, however, getting them in like a more user-friendly for non-linguist writing is something I've been working on. So potentially a batch import would be useful, but also I need to figure out writing, but I'll definitely be in touch about that. Thank you.
Yes, that's very good question too. So some of the languages we worked on have no writing system. So in that case, you could put the head word as the phonetic transcription. That is one way to start, or you could wait and do figure out with the community what writing system works for them. You can always make changes later too. So that's part of a larger discussion about orthographies and standardization. So we get that in a lot of conferences and everything. So if you want to talk later in the year or next year, so it sounds like you'll be working on this language for a few years, you can contact us when you're ready to talk about that. Okay, sounds good. So we have quite a few more people here. Abra, I see you motioning. Maybe you were not talking to me. Do you want to say hi, Abra? She's talking to someone.
I was talking to my daughter. Sorry. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I guess, hi, I am not a linguist, but I did Peace Corps about 10 years ago, and I learned Kaqchikel, which is a Mayan dialect in Guatemala. And I actually married into a Kaqchikel family, and I teach my daughter Kaqchikel. And part of the effort of doing that was recording her grandma and her aunt so that we had authentic voices in the home, because we're not living there right now. So sorry, I'm out of breath. I was just running around. But anyway, yeah, so I have all of these recordings, and we actually did have one uploaded into the Kaqchikel Talking Dictionary by David Harrison. But I wanted to be able, like, I have so many, I just wanted to be able to start putting them into the dictionary.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here, just to learn like what I need to do in order to get all of these recordings I have into the dictionary. So
great. Well, that's a great question. We will follow up on that with you. There's actually a Kakshikel living dictionary, but I don't know if it's the same dialect or not.
No, it's the one. Yeah, we have one entry in there. My mother-in-law has one in there.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
We already put one, but I didn't do it, so I don't know how to do it this way.
Yeah. Yes. This one, we do have one that we started. So I will get back to you on this one, because maybe you could join this other existing Kaqchikel one.
Yeah.
Since there's about 481 on this one. So we could come back to you on that.
Okay.
And then you could then join this project with the permission of the previous team that worked on this. This was done in 2015, I believe.
Yeah.
This was from a workshop that I taught in Guatemala. So I like very, I love this language. I think it's so amazing. So I will contact the original person who did this and then see if you can just join this team, since there hasn't been a lot of movement on this one for a number of years.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you. This is great. Does anyone else want to introduce themselves briefly? Just go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, I can, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Hi there. So my name's Travis Richardson. I'm currently a grad student at Georgetown, and in linguistics, I study the sociolinguistic factors that contribute to the success or failure of intergenerational transmission of endangered or indigenous languages. And much like what Abra was saying, I first got involved with indigenous language revitalization because I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Kyrgyzstan. And since then, I've done work not only with Kyrgyz, but with the Chuvash language in Russia, and most recently with the Zuni language of the Zuni Nation in New Mexico, where I do curriculum development for them. And that's when I first heard of living dictionaries, saw the need for a dictionary for the Zuni. And I'm just here to learn more from you all and see all the functionalities of it. So nice to meet all of you, and I look forward to learning more about this too.
Fantastic. What I'll do right now in the chat, I will post our batch import request sheet. So if you want for the Zuni or for one of the other communities that you've worked with, I will get you that link shortly to see if you want to do a batch request. Then once we receive that batch request, we can have another meeting in the future to see if you want to build a living dictionary and what would be the most efficient way to do it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, sounds great. Okay, we have a few more people to say hello, and then I'll circle back to the Pesh language. Paul, do you want to say hi to the group?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So I am trained as an anthropologist and I'm based in Hong Kong right now, and I'm looking for something to work on. I finished my PhD in 2019, and when I was doing my dissertation, I didn't really have a lot of chances to explore the linguistic aspects as much as I would have liked. So now I'm looking for kind of what to do next. And once COVID is finished, I do kind of hope to go out and try to get some actual data. There's some communities I've touched base with in Thailand, and I'm also kind of interested in the Korean dialects in Central Asia that are still there, because they're kind of remnants of a North Korean language. And given the situation with COVID and stuff, I'm not really working on anything now, but I do plan to do that once things kind of calm down a bit. So that's a very brief introduction from me. I'm based at Lingnan University now, if anyone wants to get in contact with me. So thank you.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Paul. That's great. There's so much work to be done in Asia in so many languages. So it's great to hear that you're thinking about this platform for the future. We're about to roll out Mandarin, and we would, as an interface language, and we would like to do others in Asia as well. So great. Thanks. Nice to meet you. We also have Arul Dayanand. Are you there, Arul? Are you able to unmute and say hello?
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm Dr. Arul, and I work at Center for Endangered Languages of Kerala. It is on the southern part of India.
Mm-hmm.
And currently I'm working on a language called Malapulaya.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've used all the nuances of the dictionary like in a very exhaustive way. If possible, can you just highlight the Malapulaya dictionary?
Yes. Let me see if I can pull it up. Are you able to put the link in the chat, or do you want me to find it on the website?
You can find it. India, like southern part of it, Malapulaya.
Okay. Yes. Familiar with your dictionary. I just don't know if I'm spelling it right, because I know we had some spelling issues at the beginning. So I'm just gonna find it. Ah, there it is. Okay, got it. So right. So I'll share my screen. I got it.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So this is the right one, right? This is Malapulaya. Oh yeah. So well, that's amazing. Yeah, 390 entries. Fantastic. This is great. Oh my gosh, looks wonderful. I see you have various glossing languages. You have, oh, there's some pickles. We have Tamil, Hindi, Telugu, and Kannada. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about your process in building this and some of the questions that you have?
Yeah, the thing is like, in India, it is like multicultural. You have like every state with different languages. But I wanted to take this indigenous languages to the, because like people are like really interested in learning new languages in India. And, just building this dictionary, it took me a lot of, like as an individual, like I don't have any like co-workers to like work on it. To putting the gloss to it and the pictures and the sound files, editing it, and I have to see to that it doesn't exceed the capacity, the sound files. And especially like I was like a little bit getting trouble with the semantic categories.
Okay.
You know, certain
Mm-hmm.
certain areas I was not able to like exactly pinpoint to where to the exact lexicon fit into it, because I have a optional in-depth semantic categorization, and I was thinking like I will sort of like sharing with you so that we can update this category where everything falls into it like in a proper place. No, like seeing those semantic categories, it is like quite a very broader aspect.
Yeah.
And certain things need to be like very specific.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one area that it was kind of hindering, but the rest of it was like, it was like, I'm working on it is really interesting. And just kind of move on to the table format of the dictionary.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you do a lot of the editing in the table format?
No, no, like I was using sometimes I used to like switch to the older version of the dictionary, like Living Dictionary. You have like a newer version and the older version. And the older version, you have certain features enabled, and on the newer version, it has not been enabled. So I quite of yes, I used to switch to the both the versions and work. You know, certain features are not enabled in the newer versions. So it was like using both the version of the dictionaries.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would be interested in knowing which features we're working or not, because we've updated the site many times. So it should be, I was curious if you, oh, I see. So you were on the other URL, the Talking Dictionary URL.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we will compare that to see which which functions are not working for you. So I'm going to write you an email after this. If you could give me a list of whatever, when you have time, which were those functionalities that you were looking for. And also that would be perfect. And also for the semantic domains, this is a good transition back to Pesh. Also, we're going to work on by the end of this year, allowing users to have their own tags. And so that you would create your own category and have it as your own tags that you can filter by, because it's very important. And that really is language specific. Like some of the categories that you need don't apply to other languages or other regions of the world. So that's why we made the semantic domain list very, very general. It was supposed to help people just filter wherever they may be in the world. But in doing that, we see that there is a need for more specific tags that work for you. So Go ahead, Greg.
The history of that is that we originally had a list that ended up being a dictionary. It was like a list of 5,000 semantic domains, and we realized that 5,000 semantic domains in a pull down menu or anything was ludicrous. So we went sort of maybe too far in the other direction. But the reality was that we always intended to have this functionality. We just haven't built it in to allow people to expand for the reasons that Anna just said, is that they're locally appropriate domains that aren't relevant to broad cross linguistically, but are highly relevant to the particular context. So yeah, that hopefully we'll find the happy medium middle ground here relatively soon.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yes, and semantic domains are just, it's a very, it's a delicate topic that we need to improve our documentation around each category anyways. So I'm going to turn back to Pesh in the last few minutes that we have for Alex's question. And if I remember correctly, Alex, you were asking about in Spanish, if you could get the same semantic domains. I think that was your question. So if you do, yes, if you switch the interface to Spanish, so what I did is I'm on the Pesh.
My question is part of speech. part of the speech, in Spanish, partes del discurso.
Ah, partes del discurso. Sí, okay.
Yes, this is
Yes.
that part.
Okay, sorry, I forgot. So for example, oh, right, the feminine nouns, exactly. Okay, yes. So as you can see, we've translated the list of parts of speech into Spanish. So that's what pops up, but it's also limited, right? So you need the ability to add your own. Is that correct? You want to add feminine nouns and masculine nouns so that you could then filter by that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we need to look at the same process in the platform for people to add their own parts of speech to. And that list that we have, I'll go back to this so you can see all of our parts of speech. So this is our official parts of speech in English. But once again, and we tried to be very like conscious of like what people would need around the world. So that's how we ended up with this list of 95, but it's very preliminary. So right now, tagging it with noun is one thing you can do for Pesh, and then adding it in, let me go back to where I was. So for example, you would tag it, let's look at all your sustantivos, which are nouns in Spanish. So all of these are correctly tagged for now. What you could do, and Maya, it's wonderful you did the trilingual glossing, amazing. What you could do is then, if you have one, you could write it in the notes right now. So it's not the best solution, but you could write if this was a feminine noun or a masculine noun. And then that would come up in the search results. If you searched for all feminine nouns, they would come up for what is in the notes section. But that's not the best solution for you. I think we need to be able to have the ability to add a new part of speech. What do you think, Greg? What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, this was, again, we debated this issue for a while, and gender noun class systems are very complicated around the world. Indo-European languages have very simple systems, 2, maybe 3 terms that get involved in this. You have things like in Bantu, where you have nearly 24 or something, and then you have even worse situations in some other parts of the world where you have several dozen different noun classes that are formally marked. There wasn't really a way to normalize all of that. So again, the intention was keep it general and then eventually build in the ability to have a specific addenda to those specific addenda to the noun classes, because there was no way to meaningfully accommodate all of them cross-linguistically without, again, getting into something that's just a gigantic list of things which are largely irrelevant to most things.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what we really struggled with going, like Greg was saying, those lists that we made were just out of control, so it's like how you're supposed to find the parts of speech, within those lists that were way too long. So yeah, this helps us identify that issue, that we need to have tags that are specific to your dictionary for Pesh, because you will need that. Okay, so thank you for bringing that up. Let's do some closing thoughts now, since we've reached the hour. Diego, what do you think after hearing some of those requests for features? Did that, spur any inspiration for you on the web development side?
Yes, I think the thing of the accessibility, it's very important. That would be a main part that we can improve, and everything it's very useful. I can do improvements in any of these comments, and I am very happy to hear you, all of you, and thanks for your comments and everything.
Cool. Thank you, Diego. That's awesome. Yeah, it's glad to get the wheels working with seeing people using the site. I want to give major congratulations to Arul for the amazing work you've done so far on the site. It just looks so great. As well as Alex. It's these dictionaries, we don't know them all closely because we have every week it's growing. There's more and more people joining the site. So just having the chance to look at your projects more specifically, Alex and Arul, I just big congratulations for the hard work that you've done, because maybe no one is telling you congrats, but we are. Right? It's very important. And
thank you so much.
Yes, it's amazing, Arul. It's really, really cool what you've done so far. And thank you for bringing those features to our attention so that we can improve also. Yeah, that's wonderful. And so we will put those in on our roadmap. And so probably December or January, we should have some of these things worked out. Yeah, and so we have time for one or two closing questions. As we go, I'm going to put my email in the chat right now so that the easiest way, for example, so I'll put my email in the chat. So I would say, Abra, if you could email me about the Kakshikel, joining the Kaqchikel one, and I'll send you that link right here. So we can make sure that we go through getting community permission to get you onto that dictionary. So putting the list, so that would be great. Just email me. And then for you too, Travis, please email me with any questions about if you want to build a Zuni living dictionary or the other language that you mentioned. That would be great. And Yvonne too will be in touch about the project in Ethiopia. That's really good. Do we have any closing questions? Good. Greg, any closing thoughts from anything? This was a really great meeting. It's very good.
Thanks for everyone for bringing all your energy and also your different approaches and different areas that you're working on. Looking forward to seeing them expand. For Madeline, the orthography issues, that could be a sticky wicket, as they say. So just don't get discouraged by that, because that probably will be a long slog, getting an accepted orthography for the community. It's a large community, I realize too. So it may have more than one opinion expressed. So good luck with that, and expanding all of your work and moving forward on this journey that we're all on.
Great, thank you so much. Yeah, this was a really good meeting. We're going to put it online. I've put, thank you, Madeline. Yes, awesome. We really appreciate that, it's a tricky process. I've put the link to our FAQ page, which is frequently asked questions. There is some more links for tutorials or more resources on there too. And we keep updating that page too. So thank you all. I'll make sure you all have the recording from today as well. And Yvonne, if you could email me though, actually, I want to just make sure that we don't forget to get it to your collaborator specifically. So yeah, that would be great. And thank you so much for coming. Appreciate you all. Have a good day.